Hello and welcome to the PPM Podcast. This is January, and January is almost over. It's amazing how fast the month went by. So we're trying to get in a podcast before the month ends. So here we go. A couple things right off the bat. A big thank you or a welcome or a happy day to Gloria Author. Gloria Author just finished her nurse practitioner license, so she's now certified for that. That's a lot of work, and good heavens, I can't even imagine all the studying, especially nowadays with all the crazy stuff going on, all the studying she had to do and get through that. And so, gosh, so happy that you're part of our family here. And for all of our family, a big thank you for what you do, okay? Next item. We have, sometimes people will call, they have questions about what we do here at Paramedical Personnel of Maryland as to a procedure, how we want stuff filed, how we want things done. The reality is, don't call Heart Association and ask them about a PPM procedure, because they don't have a clue what the training centers are required to do or what our requirements are. So if you got a question like that about how to fill out a form or something like that, give Kathy a call, because she will be able to explain it to you as far as what needs to be done for that particular form or for PPM, okay, how that works. So just don't call American Heart, because we have really had some issues with Heart telling them completely wrong information on how to do stuff. Okay, not unusual. Okay, and last but not least for me this time is that you'll notice when we do your monitors now, we put a rating on there. And we were doing it for our own little stuff, but now we're actually putting it on your monitor sheet so you can actually see it of how we're rating you. And it's a star system. So if you see like a 3-star, 3 stars an average rating, it's like getting a C on your paper. That means you've really completed everything. Could have done it better, but you did manage to cover all the topics. And that means that in 1 year we'll have to watch you do it again. If you get a 3.5 star, that's kind of like a C+. That means you did a really good class, but maybe the batteries are out of your AED. So it went to play the AED and the AED was dead. Well, then that's going to kind of gig you because you didn't check your equipment ahead of time. So maybe you left your AED at work and now you're trying to do the class and your AED's not there. Okay, so things like that. You did an excellent class, but you need to show us that your AED is actually working. So that would be like a C+, and that's the 3.5 stars. If you get a 4-star, that's like a B, and you're doing really good class, and you'll get monitored again come next 2 years when it's time to renew your card. You have to get a monitor. And then if you get a 5-star, which is an excellent class, means everything went exactly the way it was supposed to, fantastic program, that's like getting an A. So if you see a 5-star, you got an A, and you're good, you actually get to skip a monitor. So you're good for 4 years on something like that. Okay, now of course if we ever hear something crazy, like somebody gives us a call and says, hey, I just got taught to compress a forehead, blow in an ear, well then we're going to be contacting you to do another monitor. If we find out that somebody calls and says, hey, I just mailed my card in with the money and they just sent me out a new card, well then we'll be contacting you in reference to something like that, because that's illegal, and that actually warrants you being decertified as an instructor. And if you're carrying any other license, i.e. an RN, you can lose your RN for that. Okay, I remember an RN that actually had a problem with her card, falsified a card, and lost her RN license. So that is not something to play with, especially when CPR is not difficult to do the CPR training, and the whole idea is to keep your skills up to speed so that you can do this correctly. It's not difficult. You know that. You're instructors. You know it's not difficult to actually do the class. But to really cheat the class and cheat your customer, cheat your student, it's not what we're all about. Now, one of the reasons, and many of you know Kiana, she's been with us for a while now and does a fantastic class, one of our leading training center faculty. And what I've asked her to do today is she does a fantastic kind of setting up skits and stuff like that for folks to kind of think through, if this were me and this were actually happening, how would I handle this? And so it keeps everybody on their toes. And I said to her, next time I do a monitor, can you do one of those for us so that everybody kind of see what you do? So I'm going to step away and let her do her little thing, kind of like your class. The camera is the class, and she'll be doing her little thing right to you guys. So you get a chance to maybe add something new to your classes when you're doing it. Okay, so Key, you got it.
Thank you everyone for being with me. I'm going to demonstrate Narcan nasal spray for opioid overdose. I actually like to create scenarios for my classes because I'm actually an independent contractor like yourselves, where I sometimes go to my customers and teach. When I get to my customers, unfortunately, sometimes equipment doesn't work. So I adapted making scenarios so that it'll make my class go smoothly. I keep it in order. So the scenario that I'm going to use today, I hope you can take away from this and use it in your classes. The scenario that I like to use is really giving them a lot of information as it relates to the Narcan nasal spray. I'm going to go behind the table so that I can set up. With that said, giving real life scenarios based off experiences is key. If you don't have a real life experience, that's fine, but try to adapt some of your resources to your class. It goes a long way. With that said, we all know this is Annie, and I give a scenarios as if Annie has a lot of friends, and every time she goes to a treatment center, she gets a Narcan kit. Keep in mind, you can receive a Narcan nasal spray kit for opioid overdose from your health department. It is actually free. If you go to your local pharmacy, you do not get the whole kit. You actually get just the box of Narcan with the 2 4-milligram doses of the Narcan in it. I always recommend the health department because you get a kit. In the kit, you get the box of Narcan as well as gloves, face shield, directions on how to administer the Narcan, of course, but you also get a copy of the Good Samaritan Law as it applies to this situation. With the Good Samaritan Law, it also has some information on it that's very useful. For instance, if I'm on parole and probation, technically I'm supposed to watch the company I keep or I'll be violated. Actually, I'm not going to be violated as long as I stay with this person and make sure that they get help. We also explained that you can use Narcan on children, as well as I can use it on you even though you didn't indulge. If I suspected that you used a drug, it's to reverse the effects of the opioids, so it's not going to hurt you. Within just explaining that to my students, I always start off saying we need your help in the community, and with that said, I'm just going to demonstrate as if I'm a bystander. Every time she goes to a treatment center, she gets a kit. She can have an abundance of Narcan, and her friends and family are aware of this. They'll use every dose on her, but no one will call 911. I do explain that you have to call 911. We explain that once you use it, you're sending the person into early withdrawal. Some of them can be very violent. Some of them can be pissed off and actually want to harm you. They don't care that you saved their life. They're pissed that you took their high. We also explain at this point that with sending them into early withdrawal, some come to, nod off, go into that snoring sound, and as healthcare providers, we know that snoring sound is not normal breathing. That person is actually gasping for air and dying. But unfortunately, some bystanders don't know this. They'll come back to check on their loved one and they find them deceased. If you come up on a person and you suspect that they actually OD'd or anything like this, we do go over the signs and symptoms. You may see drug paraphernalia, giving the drug a choice. You may not. With that said, the face may be blue. Tips of the nose or lips may be blue or black. Eye pinpoint pupils. Actually, the face may be in color, ashy. You may see foaming at the mouth. We do say protect yourself. Of course, you're calling 911, but make sure the scene is safe. You'll do that tap and shout, as well as do that external rub. Again, I'm demonstrating as if I'm a bystander. Immediately, you want to get this Narcan into them as soon as possible. So you will perform a head tilt, chin up, support underneath of the neck with one hand, take the nasal spray, shove it into the one nostril, close off the other side, administer the spray. 2-3 minutes, you can give them another dose in the other nostril, but we always say start with that high quality CPR so that we can actually get the medication flowing through the body. So after we start that high quality CPR with chest compressions, after your 30 chest compressions, we'll do that head tilt, chin up, and give those 2 rescue breaths. But I will say this, We live in a climate where no one wants to really give rescue breaths, but you're more likely to give rescue breaths to a loved one. We do here at PPM give a keychain face shield, and with that keychain face shield, it has that one-way valve, which means when you blow in, it's just going in, nothing's coming back on you to contaminate you. You're more likely to have your keys with you than anything, and you're more likely to give rescue breaths to a loved one. With that said, also, our library first aid kits, you more than likely will have a pocket mask. At that point, I can demonstrate the pocket mask, letting folks know it has that one-way valve, which means when you blow in, it's just going in, nothing's coming back on you to contaminate you. And that time, I can also demonstrate how to effectively use a pocket mask. Making a tight seal with that pocket mask, head tilt, chin up, around the jawline, not the fleshy part, make that tight seal and give those 2 rescue breaths. I hope this was very helpful for you. If you have any questions, please make sure you call the training center to obtain your Narcan demo. These are available here at PPM with useful information that we'll actually send out to you with a quick start guide. That cost to have that mailed to you is $4 due to mailing costs, and we will make sure we get it out to you as soon as possible so that you'll have your equipment available for your teaching. I thank you again. If you have any questions, give me a call.
Secret word is Narcan.
And the secret word is Narcan.